Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I thought I would give you a little peek into what are in my pro palettes. One of the reasons for depotting my products is for the convenience of traveling with them or just having them all handy in one place instead of fudging through individual compacts. And then at MAC specifically, you can take back those compacts and recycle them. It's called the Back to MAC program. If you have 6 items, you can take them back and get a free product depending on your location. So I'm just going to show you what I have in my palettes. And so in this MAC palette, this is one of 2 that I'm currently using. I have a couple different cheek items. So, and this one, this first one is a little messy in here. This one is, Blunt. Oh my goodness. Blunt from MAC. It is a contour blush and I just have it in here along with a few MSF products. This is Gold Deposit. This is Soft and Gentle, Gleeful, and Lovething, or Lovething and Gleeful. One of the 2. But those are the 2 names of the products. Blushes, highlighters, a contour powder. So that's in my MAC Pro Palette. Again, it just makes it really easy to grab for an item that has several different choices in it or has a combination of things that you will use in one look, like a contour powder, a blush, and a highlight. So that's why we have that there. Moving on to a little more blush bronzer items. This is my Z palette. Now this one is a little bit different than a MAC palette in the sense that you can buy different colors, which is always fun. And also, these are magnetized. So if you have a pan like the NARS blushes or your MAC shadows, you can just pop them into the Z palette and the majority of them will, my dog is having a party back here. The majority of them will just automatically magnetize to the palette itself. So you don't have to do anything additional in order to make them stay. So you have them in here, you turn them upside down, nothing happens. The thing I like most about these palettes is that it's clear, so you can see what's going on, and then this folds all the way back. It just makes it a little easier to handle. And so in this palette is a lot of my blush items, a bunch of blushes from NARS, my favorite ones actually from NARS, as well as this like quad here are my favorite blushes. We have, what do we have? Lovejoy. Oh goodness. I'm gonna laugh when I don't remember it. Outlaw. Lovejoy, Outlaw, Sin, and this other one I always forget. Dolce Vita. And I keep digging into them. So Dolce Vita, Sin, Lovejoy, Outlaw. These 2 you guys have heard me rant on about all the time. This is Luster, which is gorgeous, one of my favorites, Taj Mahal, and then this is my Casino bronzer. So that is what's in this one. This is, I put these together in this particular palette because, like I said, these are my most used blushes, and then these are kind of alternate, maybe more summery. If I'm doing something a little different, I can make one of these work hands down. And as you can see, I'm absolutely in love with Casino bronzer, and so this is in here as well. So if I were to travel, this hands down is coming with me. It's no thinking about it. If I'm going to pack my bag, I'm packing this Z palette because it has all my favorites in there and gives me a ton of options. And this Z palette, which is pink, I have just my remainder blushes from NARS. Now, I depotted all of my blushes except for a few that I actually bought in the pan. More recently, NARS has come out with their own pro palettes as well as refillable pans. And so, unfortunately, only one of these was in a refillable pan. The other ones I had to depot. And so this one kind of took a little wear and tear. I don't know if you can tell, but this one for sure took a little wear and tear. This is... oh, the pink one is Desire. Yes. Ooh. Yeah. So we have Desire, Matahari, Orgasm, and Exhibit A. These I could definitely pack with me. I mean, as you can see, this palette isn't terribly large. It wouldn't take up a ton of room. Hey, what are you doing over there? Sorry, I had to see what he was up to. Wouldn't take up a ton of room, but I would probably have a very specific look in mind for an event or a night or whatever if I were to travel with this palette. Because I don't reach for these as often, although I do love them. So that is that little palette puppy. Now, moving on to my eyeshadows. So I have shadows in a couple different palettes. I do have some MAC shadows that I've depotted and put in this MAC palette. Like I said, this one isn't magnetized, so I have little magnetic sticker squares on the back of these in order to make them stick to this palette. And they work out pretty fine, but these are colors that maybe I don't reach for every single day. Although there are a couple in here that I've been reaching for as of late, so I need to probably move them over to this other palette. But these are just a few, or the kind of backups of my MAC shadows that I don't reach for every day. But, and there's also one in here that isn't from MAC. Just, you know, some other rando shadows. But I love them, I just don't reach for them all the time. So they kind of hang out in the other MAC palette. Now, the shadows that I reach for way more frequently, I've assembled in this palette. So this is, and it's my leopard cheetah palette that I love. These are kind of arranged, sort of, kind of, by category. So like over here we have my Makeup Geek shadows. I don't have a ton of those, but I do have, like, this is Grandstand, maybe, I forget the name. Yeah, Grandstand. That's one of my favorites, actually. It's really pretty on the lid. And this is another favorite, and this is Mesmerized. So this one's more of like a purpley, and these aren't the foiled. Yeah, these are the foil shadows. So the three here are foil. So this is, like I said, Grandstand, this is Flamethrower, and this is Mesmerized. I love those three. They're very pretty on the lid. And then we have maybe Bitten. Yes, Bitten and Cocoa Bear. And this last one is Pretentious. So my Makeup Geek shadows, I like them a lot. I reach for them quite often. And then here are some MAC shadows that I reach for a lot. This is Nylon from MAC. This is a gorgeous inner corner highlight shade. This is actually from Morphe. This is Secretive from Morphe. I only have one single Morphe shadow, and that's Secretive. This is from MAC. I forget the Carbon from MAC. Oh, put that back. Hold on. Man down. Okay. This is not a MAC shadow either. This is an Ardency in shadow. It is so stinking pretty, and I don't know the name of it offhand. I can't remember. It's not Orchid. I'll find it and I'll list it somewhere below. I'm so sorry. It's a beautiful, beautiful purple shade too. This is actually from MAC. This is brownscript from MAC. It's like barely in there. Some of them didn't take too well to sticking to the little magnetic sticks. And then this last one in the corner here is Boom 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 from MAC. One of the Dazzle shadows that was released over the summer. So those are my shadows. And then, this kind of two rows over here are my Anastasia shadows. I won't go through them all, but some of my favorites are Dark Chocolate Shimmer. There we go. Dark Chocolate Shimmer, Truffle Glitter. I did a tutorial on that one. I love that one. Denim Smoke is another one of my favorite ones. They're just so pretty and so gorgeous. Anastasia shadows are some of my favorites. I definitely want to get more single shadows eventually. But for right now, this was Rosette, I believe it's called. Yeah. So, so pretty. This one might be chocolate. Yeah. That one's called Chocolate, and this one is Vintage. Nope, Victorian. I lied. So, Rosette, Chocolate, Vintage. Dark Chocolate Shimmer, Truffle Glitter, Denim Smoke. Love, love, love these shadows. So this pan, or Z palette I actually reach for way more frequently. All right, y'all, this is the last of my pro palettes. One of my most treasured, I have to admit. So like I mentioned earlier, NARS recently came out with their own pro palette. So it is magnetized just like the Z palette, but of course it has the NARS logo. I got the larger one because in the back of my mind, I was always thinking I wasn't going to put my NARS products in here. I was going to do something else with it. And so I wanted a larger palette to do so. And it has this wonderful black packaging. It's very smooth and pretty. It may get a little dirty as time goes on, but who really cares? I don't. So it has the logo there. And when you open it, it has the logo there as well. And in here, did you hear the clouds open and the angels sing? These are my Makeup Forever artist shadows. I heart them so much. There's several in here, as you can tell. I'm trying to just make sure I stay in frame. And all of these over here are matte shadows. By far, Makeup Forever does my most favorite matte shadows in life. And so we have, so hard to get everything in. All of these colors on this side are mattes. They're neutral browns or warm browns or purples, especially because I love my purples so much. And got some pops of color, this maroony color, this more red color, definitely a black one. And I think I've mentioned before, I specifically went out and bought the black one because I was like, if this is going to be a complete palette, if this is going to be the eyeshadow palette that I travel with, I need to make sure that there's a matte black in there, because that's usually my only complaint about a palette. Like, it can't be a complete palette if it doesn't have a super dark smoky color in it to smoke out the lash line. So we added a matte there. And then this little guy in the middle, super random, I know, is actually a MAC shadow, and that's Saddle from MAC. It is just my perfect transition color. Perfect. I use it in the crease. I blend it all over the eye if I'm doing kind of a messy smoky eye. That's always my base color. I set my eye primer with this color, and so it's just really one of my favorites. Some of the standout colors in here is this puppy, which is M646. That one is just a beautiful beigey color. It's really pretty all over the lid if you're doing like a neutral eye, and then some of the darker shades in the crease. Another one of my favorites is this guy, which is M822, and I love it because it's a mauve, kind of mauve, more mauve than brown, but definitely there's some mauve brownness going on in there. And then what is this called? 928. M-928. Beautiful purple eggplant shade. And I've kind of looked. This is a pretty unique shade. I haven't really found a dupe for it yet, because I do look because I love this color so much. And this is one of my newer ones, and this is M738. And it's just a beautiful kind of burnt orange with some hints of brown in it. Just such a beautiful color. And then all of my shimmers over here, which I absolutely adore. I most recently used this one, D652, on my girlfriend. I was doing her makeup for a night out. I love these. These, hands down. This is my favorite palette ever. Most treasured. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as I ramble on and on endlessly. I just wanted to kind of show you and give you a peek into what's in my pro palettes, because I use them quite a lot. I reach for them on the daily, and they just sit really kind of handily on my vanity, so I can reach for them whenever I need to. I used them today on this little eye look, and I've run out of things to say about them, to be quite honest. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely go ahead and do so. I would really appreciate it. Thumbs up this video as well if you enjoyed these types of videos. And if you have subscribed to my channel and you are coming back, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me once again. And as always, I couldn't appreciate you guys more, and I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.